Big Ange Postecoglou calls out Tottenham's mentality in the aftermath of Tottenham's 2-0 defeat at the hands of Manchester City last night, as it seems, to me at least, that Spurs have absolutely broken the big Aussie manager. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, today's video, we should be talking about Manchester City and about the incredible title race that we have on our hands as we enter the final day of the season this weekend. City won 2-0 against Tottenham last night. Arsenal's chances of hoping that someone can stop this Manchester City train from reaching their 4th Premier League title in a row to help them seems to be running out of time and running out of games. And City last night, the way that they won that game and the way they celebrated in winning it seems to suggest that they are pretty confident going into their final game of the season against West Ham. On the flip side of that, what went a little bit under the radar last night was the incredible achievement by Aston Villa. City's win against Tottenham last night meant that it's impossible now for Ange Postecoglou's side to catch Aston Villa in going into a Champions League place. Villa have secured and cemented Champions League football for next season. Villa Park will be hosting Champions League football again, and what an incredible achievement that is by Unai Emery's side, and fair play and congratulations to them. But what was interesting is the aftermath of that game last night. Ange Postecoglou has since come out and questioned the mentality, calling out the mentality of his Tottenham side, and said that in the last 48 hours or so, he has seen how fragile the mentality of this side is. Questions then are need to be asked. Are you happy with your manager calling this out? Are you happy with the brutal honesty from Big Ange Postecoglou? That's what we're going to be looking at and searching for today in this particular video. We will obviously talk about Manchester City and Arsenal, the title race down the line. We'll also be giving Aston Villa their flowers as well later on down the line. But this video is going to centre around Tottenham and Big Ange Postecoglou. So, without further ado, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things always and very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings on anything and everything that I've talked about so far in the video, as well as mainly, of course, Postecoglou's comments on Spurs. Would love to hear from you all on that. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's get on with talking about Ange Postecoglou, Spurs, the mentality issues at Spurs, and everything else in between. First and foremost, I just want to say and just throw it out there instantly, right off the bat. Is anyone surprised? Is anyone genuinely surprised, barring like the 25 to 30 odd Spurs fans that were deluded enough to think that, you know, Spurs were going to win the title when things were going well and it was all sunshine and rainbows at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and they were beating teams left, right and centre and they were winning games and they were top of the table and, you know, they'd won it by November. Is anybody truly surprised by the way that Postecoglou is calling this out? Now, don't get me wrong. I've been an admirer of Ange. I've liked what he's brought to both Tottenham and the Premier League. I like his charisma. I like his style of play. I like a lot of things about this guy. But over time, it has become apparent to me that he's a style over substance manager, which is why Tottenham's season has fallen off. He's failed to adapt properly to the team he has, to his surroundings and to the Premier League. And that's why Tottenham's season has fallen off a little bit over recent months. There will still be some bright sparks and bright moments in there. And if Spurs are to finish 5th this season, that will still be a very good season. That will still be a very good achievement by Postecoglou. That will still be a very good platform in which to build upon for seasons to come, particularly when a lot of people didn't really know what to expect of Tottenham, didn't have really much expectation for Tottenham. Them achieving Europa League football and being in a title race to right the way down to the title race, being in a top 4 race, should I say, right to the penultimate / final game of the season, is still something to be proud of for a season that not many people had any expectations for. It's still something to be happy about, something to be proud of, and still something to look at and be like, okay, with a good summer transfer window, with, you know, the improvement of certain players in the team, the evolution of certain players that we already have in the squad, we can definitely kick on from this point and we can go on to better things to come for future seasons to come. But like I say, he needs to adapt, because if he doesn't adapt next season, he can make all the signings that he wants, or that Daniel Levy's going to allow him to. It won't get him much further than where he currently is. And if anything, it might even make them decline and obviously go back down the table again. He needs to show that he can adapt. Calling out the mentality, though, as brutally honest and as refreshing as it is to hear that, is it that refreshing? Let me just cast your minds back to when Jose Mourinho was in charge. Mourinho called this out. Antonio Conte, his successor, also called this out. This is nothing new, and this should not come as any surprise to Tottenham fans, apart from like the 30 or so that I said sort of thought that they won the Premier League by November. This should not come as any surprise, because two previous managers have called it out, and now the guy that you all adore and admire is calling this out as well. And maybe he's just frustrated that it's a loss. Maybe he's frustrated that, you know, Tottenham had chances last night. They could have easily, on another day, put those chances away and maybe caused a bit of an upset. Maybe they could have even helped their close London rivals of Arsenal do them a favour against Manchester City in the title race. Son had an opportunity. There was also a couple of saves made by Ederson, and obviously a couple of saves made by what's his name? The Manchester City standing goalkeeper, whose name now escapes me. The goalkeeper who was obviously substituted on for Ederson in the second half made a couple of outstanding saves to, of course, help City towards their title charge for the final day of the season. On another day, maybe Spurs put them chances away. It didn't happen last night. Maybe Postecoglou is just frustrated that his players couldn't finish their dinner last night. Maybe that is the case. But, and maybe as well, he was angry at seeing Spurs fans and having Spurs fans. There was an interaction going around on social media of a Tottenham fans basically begging Postecoglou to throw the game, and Postecoglou snaps, turns around to him and argues back at him. And we knew that going into the game, going about how he was talking about in press conferences and pre-match interviews and things of that nature, that Spurs weren't going to do Arsenal any disservice. They weren't going to throw away the integrity. In Postecoglou's mind, it seemed they were going into that game to win it. They weren't going there to hand Manchester City anything. They were going there to try and win the game. So maybe he's a little bit frustrated at fans for seemingly wanting Tottenham to lose. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand the culture of it. And obviously it's a very debatable point. I'm sure that if you asked a lot of fans from different fan bases, would you rather throw a game to help a team beat your rival to a league title, or would you rather win that game and let whatever be may be because you're not in that particular title race? I'm sure you have a lot of interesting answers. In Postecoglou's mind, he wanted to win that game last night, and I'm sure he's frustrated, and maybe that come across in his interview. But like I say, this is not a coincidence now. This is real. This is genuine. Mourinho called it out. Conte called it out. And now Postecoglou called it out. A guy that Tottenham fans have been waxing lyrical about all season. He's been calling it out. And it needs to be called out again because nothing's changed since Mourinho first called it out. Nothing's changed since Conte backed up what Mourinho was saying. And now Big Ange has come out and said it. And I'll go back to my point right at the top of the video. I think Spurs have broken this manager. Spurs have broken... At the beginning of the season, he was seemingly fresh. He was seemingly charismatic. He was seemingly happy. He was excited, interested. And then over the past few weeks, I don't know, but some of the interviews that I've seen, some of the clips that I've seen around social media and things of that nature, he seems to be a different person. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, or maybe I'm not, looking at the entirety of the picture or whatever. He just seems to be a bit broken. He just seems to be a bit downbeat. He just seems to be a bit sadder and a bit annoyed and a bit frustrated. I don't know if that's just things happening off the pitch. I don't know if that's things happening on the pitch with certain players. I don't know if that's just a frustration with the board, with the people in power, coaches, or even fans that obviously in his mind are not, or without actually saying it, are seemingly not fans for wanting your own team to fail, regardless of what it means for rival fans. And again, that will strike up different answers depending on who you ask. I feel like in fierce rivalries, you will get certain fans that will say, I want this team to lose because it doesn't really benefit or not benefit us. But Champions League football is still on the line. So I'm interested to know what would have been the case if Champions League football wasn't on the line going into last night's game. If Tottenham had said finished 10th and there was no way of going anywhere up and there was no way of dropping anywhere down, would Postecoglou's mentality be the same or be different? Would a lot of fans have had the same reaction to going a goal down or not? It's an interesting debate to have, and it's an interesting talking point. And of course, what has followed in the aftermath of this has been a very explosive and very to the point response from Postecoglou in terms of what the fans thought, the players, and, like I say, the mentality of the club right the way down to its core, it seems. And I'm very much interested to know from rival fans, from neutral fans, but especially from Spurs fans, what do you make of this? This is the third manager in a row to call out something like this. And I want to know what you guys think and feel on this. Obviously, at the core and the common denominator of this is constantly Daniel Levy, and there's constantly the ownership and the people in power and all of that. That's not really changed much in the past several years. So what's the next step? What do you do? That's what I'm interested to find out from this particular video here. Like I say, congratulations last night to Manchester City. 2-0 winners and are looking on course to retain the Premier League title and to win it for a fourth time in a row. The four-peat is very much close to becoming a reality for Pep Guardiola's side. What a phenomenal achievement that would be. The only thing that would ever wipe that out is, I don't know, maybe 115 charges. As rival fans, we can only hope that that will be the case. Or certain rival fans may say that West Ham may do them a favour. It's up to David Moyes to maybe help Arsenal, but even then, Arsenal will still need to win their game to make sure that that becomes a reality. Either way, the final game of the season poses a lot for those two teams in particular. For Aston Villa, full-on congratulations to them for achieving Champions League football. What an achievement and what a job that Unai Emery has managed to achieve with that club. Absolutely incredible. And Champions League is returning to Villa Park for the first time in something over 40 years, I think. Over 40 years. I think that's what I remember reading. I can't quite remember, so I do apologise if I've got that wrong. But what a fantastic achievement by everybody involved and associated with Aston Villa Football Club. And as for Tottenham, Europa League football looks like it's going to be on the cards for next season. But I'm a little bit worried about Postecoglou and about the future of Tottenham. Just by certain little things that you're picking up here and there within the past several weeks. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Tottenham Hotspur? What do you make of everything that happened last night in terms of the game, the title race, Tottenham Hotspur, Postecoglou's interview and response afterwards to the defeat? Anything and everything that I talked about in this video, I'm sure you guys have thoughts and comments and opinions and predictions and feelings on that. I'm sure will make for interesting and great reading down below in that comment section. So please do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.